Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Daryl White II with TWE Brand. Our goal is to create strong brands by developing strategic media so that we can help 200 companies across 3 countries increase their fan engagement by at least 20% and become the go-to entrepreneur for OTT and brand equity. Today, I'm going to be answering the question, if you could tell any company to update their branding, who would it be? Now, this question honestly makes me think that you guys are trying to start drama. Yeah, I said it, drama. You want me to say some random company's name, right? No matter how big, so that you can go run and tell them, like a little snitch, and then tell them, oh, look at Daryl, he's trying to tell you that you should change your branding. What do you say? And then hold the mic up to their hand, right? Hold the mic up to their hand. And I'm not going to fall for it. No, because I'm smarter than you. All right? So if I could tell any company, I'd tell myself to update your branding. I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I'll tell you why, all right? The reason why I think that I should update my branding is because I don't do enough branding. I don't do enough marketing, in my opinion. Now, it's only me in this company, in this brand, the founder of this whole shebang of all the brands that I created, 5 in total, coming up with the 6th in the next couple months, so look out for that. And things get busy. As a CEO, if you're a part of a company, right? The CEO has a lot of tasks that they have to do per day, but they have to focus mainly on strategy and helping other people lead groups of other people, right? When you're in the show all yourself, literally you're doing all the work, you're doing all the selling, doing all the collaborations, doing all the meetings, doing all the writing, doing all the administration, doing all the graphic design, the web development, the UI, the UX, the environmental design, the activation, launching the marketing campaign, launching other companies' campaigns, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of stuff that I believe as a businessman that I want to do more of that I can't do because I have to focus on the priority tasks that are going to keep the lights on and keep food in my belly and keep the customers happy. Okay? For example, prospecting. That's one of the first things that I have to make sure that I'm doing on a daily basis. And even sometimes I can't do that. The reason why is because it's about shifting gears. Being able to go from one aspect of creation and business operation to another aspect of creation and operation. And that's very difficult for people to grasp. The reason why is because typically, people are workers, they're employees. So they clock in, they clock out to do one thing only, you know? They're not going in there thinking that their job role is going to change or things like that. They can definitely go about their business and try to learn new things and stuff like that, but typically 90% of the day they're supposed to be doing one thing and one thing only when it comes to their job. Maybe multitasking, but it's still a certain amount of tasks that they got to be doing. As an entrepreneur, you have to be doing things and changing things all the time. So it's a very hard thing to do, to be able to go back to the priority task after having to, say, start a goal. For example, designing. I have to make graphic designs for my own brand, as well as other companies, right? And if I want to stay on top of things, I have to switch gears to prospecting as soon as possible. Sometimes that's not always possible, okay? And then I have to switch gears again to do writing, right? Then switch gears again to do some reading. Then switch gears again to do something else within my business, okay? So a lot of times it's difficult for me to keep that switch always going because it takes time to develop that type of skills, right? It's one of those attitude, mindset, behavior skills that are not really things that you can do every single day, as in I'm gonna practice this every single day. It's like, no, not really. It's kind of like you have to keep it in mind and let it develop on its own. However, if you focus on the thing, it does grow. It does allow you to build those traits. Because they're not really skills, they're traits, right? They could be skills, but it's not something that you like, hey, I'm going to deploy a switch gear. It's like, no, it's more like I would rather you have that as a, well, for me, I'm the type of guy that I'm going to have this as something part of my character, my personality. Because the more that I have to focus on that, the less time that I have on other things. You understand? So, what would I want to update when it comes to a brand? Now, let's define what updating a brand really is. It's not necessarily like refreshing your page on a website to see if it's running faster. Now, I don't think that all the people that have talked about this question are referring to that. I think they're talking about relevancy. Like, I'm sure that people seeing brands and businesses have like 2 weeks of like posting something. I'm sure you've gone through that before. Like you guys are on it, right? There's a promotion that you love. There's a campaign that you can get behind, right? There's an idea that you feel like is really going to work for your line of campaigns, and you're psyched for it. The team's ready. You guys are going for it, and you guys are doing it, right? It's happening. It's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, up to like 6 weeks worth of work that you guys are doing on social media like Instagram and Snapchat, right? So you guys go to the little social media sites, and you are actually ending up, you're posting frequently, right? 2 or 3 posts, 4 or 5 posts. You're able to commit to like a daily post and stuff like that. And that's sick, right? But one day, like, the energy fades, right? You go back into the regular habits of not posting. You go back into the regular habits of not, time management and like switching it up. You go back to the regular behaviors of not listening to your customer, not paying attention to what's going on in the marketplace. Because, like it or not, I can't change it. You can't change this reality. Things change every day in marketing. Things change every day in your marketplace. We live in a world where technology's connected us all. So now we can see every single day, almost minute by minute, something different happening on the other side of the planet, who's a day ahead of you, or a couple hours ahead of you, or 5 hours behind you, and they're changing the game, right? And things are happening very fast, So there's always a time for you to be relevant, right? There's always a time to update. That's what I think that you guys are talking about. That you guys are trying to figure out, like how as a customer can I tell this business that, hey, you guys have the same painting on the wall for the past 10 years, and you guys need to change it. No, that's definitely frustrating. Like, I see it on both sides. Like the business, like they're struggling with like making overhead, right? Keep these lights on and shit like that, right? And then you got all this other stuff like employees quitting and shit. And then you got people who, I'm saying, stuff at home's not going well because you're so busy doing this at work and stuff, and and then life happens, right? People die. People die, bro. People break up, right? People drop out of school. People's lives change, you know what I'm saying? Things happen. Crises happen all the time, bro. Random violence happens, right? So it's like, sometimes you just can't keep up with it. But then, like, a lot of the businesses, they don't really think that marketing is as important as the things that they're doing on the day-to-day operational level. And the only reason why they think that is because they don't understand that the marketing that we're talking about is the same marketing that they're talking about, just a newer version. You know what I'm saying? For example, when it comes to referrals, right? Like a business would be like, oh, like I only work through referrals. I only do business through people who talk about my business to others. You know how they did that back in the day before they just passed it, shared the stuff? They had couriers, right? They had people go from village to village, and then they would relay the information of what's going on, right? Or like the kings would go talk to the other kings, or the queens would talk to other queens, and then they'll pass down to the soldiers, and the soldiers to their families, and then the families to the communities, right? Even before that, cave paintings, right? They knew that this pharaoh and this pharaoh were really good, so they put that on the wall, so that whenever some cavemen come by, they'll know what's up, right? In today's age, social media, a referral is just a share. It's literally just a share now, and it's so minuscule that people don't understand the weight behind it anymore. But it's just as impactful. Because what happens when you're talking to your friend, you mention a business that they could possibly do work with. It's only like 2 seconds, a couple sentences. Hey, yeah, I heard about Daryl. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I heard that he does marketing and stuff. And he's in sports too. Like, that's really cool. Yeah, I've seen him on YouTube, whatever. Right? Back to boobies, right? Back to boobies and beer, right? And then like weeks later, all of a sudden we're doing business, right? It's the same thing, except, hey, I'm searching on Facebook. One of my homies just shared Daryl. Who the hell is this guy? Oh, he's pretty funny on the video. That's what's up. That's what's up. A couple weeks later, hey, where is that guy at again? And then you look him up, you find him. Now we're doing business together, right? It's the same thing as a referral, except it's not in person. It's online now, right? And then on the customer side, people like to have things change all the time. Just because us as human beings, we like novelty, right? What is it when people get married? Something blue, something new, something old, right? Like they need that variety. You know what I'm saying? Spice up life. Whenever you're married for a long ass time, what you guys do? You guys go on date night once a week or whatever, right? That's the typical thing that you guys try to do. Or if you're with your family and shit, you guys try to travel at least once a month. You know what I'm saying? To someplace new. Why? To keep things interesting. Okay? So when it comes to relevancy, I feel like a lot of businesses, they don't think that being relevant, they think relevant is like, hey, I got to talk to this scientist to be able to talk to my customer to let them know that I know what you guys are talking about. When really, relevant really means, can you make it interesting again? And that's kind of like the disconnect between the business and the customer, the B to the C, right? And then, again with the customer, when it comes to like what they're enjoying and shit, like sometimes they went to the business because it's good, but then they realize that they don't look good, right? Kind of like me, right? Like I am good, but I don't look good. You know what I mean? You got to play the part, and you got to walk the walk and talk the talk type of thing. That's kind of what it is. So really, when someone's asking if a company can like update their brand, they're trying to just check to see how authentic you are. That's basically what it is. It's like, we know that you do good work, but can you show us as you're doing that work that you can present yourself nicely? You know what I mean? So to wrap this up, um, I remember when I was in a lift and I was talking to this army guy, he a veteran and stuff, and he was talking about how Lyft is really good for him because, you know, his wife was getting mad at him that he was home all the time. And we had a laugh over it because I was able to realize the technique that he was using. Because there's date night and then there's space night, right? Date night is where you guys are hanging out, doing things new. Space night is we get a day away from each other so I can have some space, you know? And that's revolutionary. That's the yin and the yang coming together as one, right? And a lot of times that's what relevancy is all about. That's what about updating your brand is all about. It's kind of just showing another side of yourself that allows your customer to feel a deeper connection with you. Because just as you guys customers need variety, they also need to know that hey, you aren't just a one-trick pony. You're not just hoping that me as a customer is going to just stick with you forever just because you're so consistent, right? Consistency is awesome, but being engaged in someone's life is much better, okay? Just because you show up every time at work does not mean that you're providing value to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of lazy people out there who clock in and clock out every day. And they're collecting that paycheck and they're not doing a damn thing. You feel me? So keep that in mind.